I try to avoid that, but I think it's unavoidable.
You know, I can't do this forever. I've been doing it since I was 21. As you move into your 80s, you say, hey, that's enough.
A life-shattering tragedy has changed Robert Redford in ways no one could have imagined. As the iconic actor approaches his 90th birthday, the weight of personal loss and hardship bears heavily on him. Beneath his glamorous image and celebrated career lies a story of deep sorrow and endurance. What challenges has he faced behind the scenes? What events have shaped this beloved Hollywood legend into the man he is today? Join us as we uncover the untold struggles and quiet strength of Robert Redford, revealing the heartbreaking reality of his life.
And it ended up being one of the most enjoyable relationships I've ever had.
A life marked by tragedy and strength. Robert Redford is a name that has long been associated with Hollywood success, charm, and charisma. For decades, people have admired his performances in classic films like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and The Sting. But behind the fame lies a story filled with personal tragedy and courage. As Redford approaches his 90th birthday, we reflect on the struggles and losses that shaped him into the man he became and influenced his view on life and fame. His life was not just about his many triumphs on the big screen, it was also about heartbreak and personal challenges. He was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, to Charles Redford, who worked as a milkman before becoming an accountant, and Martha Hart, who supported her son's dreams. His early years seemed promising, but tragedy struck when he was only 18. In 1955, his mother Martha passed away, a loss that deeply affected him. He later admitted that he regretted taking her for granted during his youth, a regret that stayed with him for years. Martha's death came after complications following the birth of twin girls who tragically did not survive. Despite medical advice to avoid another pregnancy, she wanted a bigger family. Sadly, her determination led to a blood disorder that eventually claimed her life when Redford was still a teenager. Her death left a significant void in his life and marked the start of a series of personal hardships that would follow him throughout his life. After his mother's death, he struggled with feelings of grief and isolation. He found comfort in the arts, which eventually put him on the path to Hollywood. However, his journey to stardom was far from smooth. As a teenager, he was rebellious and often found himself in trouble. He got involved in petty theft and risky behaviors like drag racing. During this time, there were encounters with the law, including an arrest for having stolen jewelry. He later described this moment as a wake-up call that made him more determined to turn his life around. Despite these challenges, he managed to earn a sports scholarship to the University of Colorado, where he joined the baseball team. However, his passion for art soon outweighed his interest in sports. Unfortunately, his newfound freedom at college led him down a troubling path. He began drinking heavily, which cost him his scholarship and forced him to drop out of school. This failure, however, marked another turning point in his life. Determined to find a new direction, he moved to Europe, where he studied painting. The experience broadened his perspective and gave him a renewed sense of purpose. He eventually returned to the United States to pursue acting, a decision that would forever change the course of his life. Even though his journey wasn't easy, his courage through tough times made him a lasting Hollywood star. What hardship did he face in his marriage? Heartbreak after heartbreak. While the world admired him, Robert faced deep struggles in his family life that went beyond the spotlight. In 1958, he married Lola Van Wagenen. The young couple soon faced a heartbreaking tragedy when their infant son, Scott, died from illness. The loss was crushing, especially as they were already facing financial challenges. Redford later called this one of the darkest times of his life. Despite this pain, he and Lola leaned on each other, and decided to keep building their family. They went on to have 3 more children named Shauna, Jamie, and Amy. However, their troubles were far from over. Their second son, Jamie, was born prematurely and had serious breathing problems caused by hyaline membrane disease, which put his life at risk. Against the odds, Jamie survived, but the experience left deep scars on the family, and Redford carried those worries with him for years. Watching his children struggle became one of his hardest challenges as a father. He once shared that nothing hurt him more than seeing his children in pain. This was especially true with Jamie, who faced more health problems in his teenage years. Jamie developed ulcerative colitis, a chronic illness that later led to cirrhosis of the liver. At 31, he underwent a liver transplant, which brought hope to the family. But complications forced him to have another transplant. The stress and worry weighed heavily on Redford and his family. Even as a busy actor and director, he was always there for his son. During the filming of Quiz Show in New York, he flew to Omaha every weekend to be by Jamie's side in the hospital. Jamie eventually recovered and built a meaningful life as a filmmaker and environmental advocate. His marriage to Lola Van Wagenen was once seen as one of Hollywood's strongest. They married before he became a global star and worked hard to build a life together. But their relationship was shaped by both personal tragedies and his demanding career in Hollywood. The early years of their marriage were tough. With only $300 in their name, they were determined to create a stable life. However, losing their first child, Scott, left emotional scars that never truly healed. As his fame grew, he was often away from home for a long time, leaving his wife to handle their home and the children's health issues alone. Lola put her own dreams aside to support the family, which placed a heavy burden on her shoulders. Later, his career reached new heights, with major films like The Natural and Out of Africa, keeping him away from home for months. This distance strained their relationship, and in 1985, they separated after 28 years of marriage. In a 2001 interview, he described their decision to divorce as mutual, but full of regret. Though their marriage ended, Redford and Lola remained close friends, bonded by their deep love for their children. Reflecting on their time together, he expressed his sorrow not only over the separation, but also over its impact on their family. What deeper heartbreak did Robert Redford endure when tragedy struck his children? A father's worst nightmare. While the public sees the star of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a man who has achieved fame and fortune, the reality of Redford's life is far more complex than the glitz and glamour he portrays on screen. Behind the success, he has faced deep personal struggles and losses that shaped his journey. One of the most heartbreaking moments in his life happened in 2020, when his son Jamie died at 58 from liver cancer. This loss was a heavy blow for Redford, who had already endured many painful moments in his life. The bond between father and son was strong, built on their love for storytelling and protecting the environment. Jamie, a filmmaker and environmental activist, left behind a legacy of hope and passion. Even after surviving 2 liver transplants and many health battles, his life was cut short, leaving a gap in his father's heart that could never be filled. Redford, who values his privacy, chose to grieve quietly with his family at his ranch in Utah. His family also asked for privacy during this difficult time. A statement from publicist Cindy Berger described Jamie as a loving son, husband, and father who touched everyone he met with his warmth. For Redford, losing another son was a painful reminder of how fragile life is, adding this loss to the many sorrows he had already faced. The grief of losing a child is unimaginable, and for him, it was not the first time he experienced such heartbreak. He had spoken about the pain of seeing his children suffer, and Jamie's passing brought this to the forefront again. Even as the world mourned alongside him, he showed that no amount of fame can protect someone from life's toughest challenges. His struggles as a father began long before Jamie's health issues, as he had faced every parent's worst nightmare, which was the loss of his child. Redford and Lola's first son, Scott, passed away at just 10 weeks old due to sudden infant death syndrome. The young couple, already struggling financially, were crushed by this loss. Back then, SIDS was poorly understood, leaving both of them with many unanswered questions and years of silent grief. Losing their baby left a deep scar on their marriage. He rarely spoke about it publicly, choosing to keep his pain private. Only years later, through interviews and memoirs, did he share how deeply it affected him. He quietly supported SIDS research, hoping to prevent other families from experiencing the same heartbreak. This trauma left him with a constant fear of losing the people he loved most. He became protective of his remaining children, a feeling that grew stronger after another terrifying event involving his daughter, Shauna. While driving near Salt Lake City, Shauna's car lost control and fell into the icy Jordan River. Miraculously, a brave passerby dove into the freezing water to save her. Though relieved by her rescue, her father was reminded once more of life's fragile nature. As if the loss of his son and daughter's close brush with death were not enough, Redford's family was once again thrust into tragedy when his daughter Shauna's fiancé, Sid Wells, was murdered in 1983. Wells, a journalism student at the University of Colorado, was found dead in his apartment with a gunshot wound to the head. The primary suspect was his roommate, Thane Smika. But due to a lack of conclusive evidence, Smika was released and later vanished, leaving the murder case unsolved. The impact of this unresolved crime weighed heavily on the Redford family. Shauna, who was deeply in love with Sid, was left heartbroken and haunted by the unanswered questions surrounding his death. Redford himself was deeply affected, often reflecting on how the murder of his daughter's fiancé felt like another cruel twist of fate. Despite renewed efforts by law enforcement to bring Smika to justice, the case remains cold, leaving a dark shadow over the family. What emotional toll did Robert Redford face when the sudden loss of friends and family tested his strength? A friendship like no other. In 1950, Robert Redford had started to make a name for himself in Hollywood. His first major breakthrough came from the Broadway play Barefoot in the Park, where he starred alongside Elizabeth Ashley. His youthful looks and natural talent quickly caught the attention of filmmakers, leading him to his first big movie role in Inside Daisy Clover in 1965 alongside Natalie Wood. This marked the beginning of a deep friendship between Redford and Wood, a bond that would stay with him throughout his career. Tragically, Natalie Wood's life was cut short under mysterious circumstances in 1981. She drowned during a boating trip with her husband, Robert Wagner, and actor Christopher Walken. Redford, who had grown close to Wood during their time working together, was heartbroken. He had admired her not only as a colleague but also as a friend. Her death was a heavy blow, leaving him to reflect on the fragility of life. He later expressed how he valued the real, genuine person that Natalie Wood was beneath the surface of her celebrity. In their film, Inside Daisy Clover, Wood helped launch Redford's career, and he would always remember her with great fondness. As he faced the ups and downs of his own life, he found comfort and determination in his friendships, especially one with fellow actor Paul Newman. Their friendship began on the set of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Their chemistry on screen was undeniable, and it carried over into their personal lives, where they shared not only respect for each other, but also a mischievous sense of humor. The two were known for playing pranks on one another. Redford once gifted Newman an old, dented Porsche for his 50th birthday, only for Newman to have the car crushed and return to Redford as a sculpture. This playful rivalry was a constant in their friendship, yet it was clear that their bond went far beyond jokes. When his marriage to Lola Van Wagenen ended in 1985 after 28 years, it was Newman who was there for him. He described their relationship as more than just a Hollywood friendship, as it was a deep brotherly connection that helped him through some of his toughest times. He also turned to Newman during personal crises, always able to rely on his friend's steady presence. Sadly, Newman passed away in 2008, and Redford was devastated. He said losing Newman was like losing a brother, and he often reflected on the laughter and joy they shared over the years, which contrasted sharply with the grief he had faced in his life. Both the loss of Natalie Wood and Paul Newman marked significant emotional turning points for him, but they also highlighted the importance of friendship in his life. How did his complicated relationship with fame shape his career choices and his legacy in Hollywood? The cost of fame. Despite his many achievements, Robert has always had a complicated relationship with fame. Known for his rugged good looks and undeniable charm, he became a Hollywood icon, yet he often expressed discomfort with the public attention that came with his celebrity status. He longed to be recognized for his talent rather than his appearance, a frustration he often shared with those close to him. His struggle with fame was evident when he was passed over for the role of Benjamin Braddock in The Graduate, because the filmmakers believed he was too handsome to portray a character who struggled with women convincingly. It wasn't a lack of talent, but rather the looks that cost him certain roles. As he once lamented, people see the hair, the teeth, and the looks, and forget about the acting. Frustrated with being typecast, he took control of his career by moving behind the camera. In 1980, he directed Ordinary People, earning an Academy Award for Best Director. This change allowed Robert Redford to focus on telling stories in a new way and helped him move away from the fake, surface-level aspects of Hollywood fame. Instead of just acting in popular movies, he began to dive deeper into meaningful projects that reflected his true passions and personal values. This shift marked a significant change in his life and career, helping him find more personal fulfillment beyond the bright lights of Hollywood. However, even as he reflects on his career, he admits that the pressure to maintain a certain public image took a significant toll on him over the years. In his later career, he became more selective with his roles, choosing projects that aligned with his personal values. Films like All Is Lost and The Old Man and the Gun, which he declared would be his final performance, allowed him to step away from the limelight on his own terms. His decision to retire from acting was driven by a desire for a quieter life, free from Hollywood's relentless expectations. Yet he acknowledges that decades in the public eye have left their mark, and there are moments when he wishes he could have lived a life away from the spotlight. Beyond his acting career, one of his most enduring legacies is his contribution to independent cinema through the Sundance Institute, which he founded in 1981. The Sundance Film Festival, held annually in Park City, Utah, has become a prestigious platform for independent films, launching the careers of filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Ava DuVernay. His vision was to create a space where artists could tell their stories without the constraints of commercial interests. He believed in the power of film to inspire change and challenge societal norms, a belief that has turned Sundance into a cultural phenomenon influencing the broader landscape of media and storytelling. Even after stepping down as the public face of Sundance in 2019, he remains deeply committed to supporting the arts. His dedication to nurturing new talent and promoting independent voices continues to be a driving force behind the festival's success. But how has Robert Redford's aging process impacted his career, health, and personal life? Health struggles and the toll of time. As Robert Redford approaches 90, he faces the inevitable toll that time takes on the body. Known for his athletic physique, he was frequently praised as one of Hollywood's most attractive leading men. But with age came health challenges that he could no longer ignore. For years, he had managed to maintain an energetic and active lifestyle, often hiking, skiing, and engaging in outdoor activities at his Utah ranch. However, the physical demands of his earlier years began to catch up with him. He has been open about the aches and pains that come with getting older, often talking about how his once endless energy has turned into a need for more rest. His friends and family have noticed a change in how he acts, saying he seems more thoughtful and reflective. Redford himself has said that getting older has made him slow down and think more about what's really important. In addition to the physical changes, he has also faced the emotional toll of losing friends and loved ones over the years. The deaths of close friends like Paul Newman, along with others from his filmmaking days, left him feeling lonely. He doesn't talk about it much, but it's clear in the way he now leads a quieter life. Although he still works on his environmental and artistic projects, those around him have noticed that he's less energetic than he used to be. Despite these difficulties, he remains strong. He keeps fighting for the causes he cares about, like protecting the environment, which he sees as part of his legacy. Through his work with the Sundance Institute and his dedication to independent film, he ensures that his influence on the industry will last even after he's gone. However, it's clear that almost 90 years of life have left their mark on this Hollywood legend. How has his life of struggles shaped him into the man he has become? A life of reflection. As he nears his 90th birthday, his life serves as a powerful narrative of triumph and tragedy. Despite the glitz and glamour that defined much of his public persona, Redford's personal life was marked by deep sorrow and loss. The deaths of his mother, his children's health battles, the loss of close friends, and the end of his marriage have left indelible marks on his soul. Yet, through it all, he has demonstrated courage, using his pain to fuel his passions. He has become more reflective, often speaking about the lessons he has learned along the way. He acknowledges that while fame brought him wealth and recognition, it also came with a cost, which he was often unwilling to pay. His choice to step back from acting and focus on his personal life reflects a desire for peace after a lifetime of being in the public eye. Now he finds comfort in the simple pleasures of life. Surrounded by family and nature, he spends his days enjoying the company of his grandchildren, working on conservation projects, and quietly reflecting on a life that has been anything but ordinary. His story is a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure, adapt, and find meaning even in the face of adversity. For many, he will always be the dashing Sundance Kid, the charming Jay Gatsby, or the fearless investigative journalist in All the President's Men. But for those who know his story, he is much more than that. He is a man who has faced life's toughest challenges with grace, a father who stood by his children in their darkest hours, and a friend who valued loyalty above all else. As he approaches the twilight of his life, he stands as a symbol of strength, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming sorrow, there is always a path to redemption and peace. As he approaches his 90th birthday, his impact goes far beyond movies. He has made a lasting impression on Hollywood, independent films, and environmental causes. Now, quietly marking a new year at his peaceful Utah ranch, he leaves behind a story of bravery and dedication to the causes he cares about. His life, filled with both happiness and challenges, is a reminder of the power of the human spirit and will inspire future generations. What are your thoughts on the tragedies Robert Redford has endured? What more could his hardships reveal about his life? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.